Hello everyone, I welcome you all to the very first content video of my YouTube channel, Alto Cumulus. In this video and couple of follow-up videos, I am going to show you how to host your resume in cloud. I will be using AWS for this hands-on. Let's get started. Okay, here is my AWS Management Console. You can see I have added few services to my favorites tab. So we need to go to S3 service. So either I can click it from here or I can search for S3 in this search bar. So let's quickly do that. Okay, now we are inside the S3 console, and first of all we need to create a bucket. So I'm going to click create bucket, and I'm going to name my bucket as batman.resume.nilukshansiva.com. Now you might be wondering why I am naming my bucket in this fashion. I'll be discussing about this in a follow-up video. So for the moment, please follow with me. And you might notice that this bucket name looks like a domain name, and that's what I want exactly in this hands-on. So I'm going to select the Singapore region as it is close to Sri Lanka. You can select whatever the region that is closer to you, or you can leave the default region, which is US East 1. So I'm going to scroll down a bit. Okay, the ACLs are disabled. So when I'm going to give any access control to my S3 bucket, I will be using bucket policies rather than access control lists. Okay, I'm scrolling down a bit. Now we have a option selected which says block all public access. But what we are trying to do here is we are going to host our resume in internet, right? In other words, we want people from internet to visit our website and view our resume. So having this option selected will basically block such any public access. So I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to untick this option. So AWS is giving me this warning message saying that turning off this will allow public access to my S3 object. I'm going to acknowledge that because that's the exact thing I want in this hands-on. Okay, I'm going to leave other settings as the default, and I'm going to click create bucket. Okay, now the bucket has been created. Let's go inside our bucket. Now we need to upload the files related with our resume. For this, I have created a simple web page. You can see the folder structure here. Let me open it in my local browser. You can see it's basically a resume for Batman. It's a very simple web page with an image and some icons and two tabs, about and skills. So what else we have in our folder? I have a document called error.html. Let's open that. It says, uh-oh, something went wrong. The page you are trying to reach probably does not exist. I have this document because imagine once you deploy your resume in internet, it's exposed through an endpoint, right? So when users are visiting your website and if they are trying to request a page that does not exist in our website, we need to give them a customized error message, right? It would be great if we can do that. So for that purpose, I will be using this error.html document. So what else I have in this folder? You can see there's a folder called assets where my images and other media files are kept, and then CSS where style sheet files are kept, and finally JS where the JavaScript files are kept. So now if you are a person who don't know about these structures or don't know how to create your web page from scratch, don't worry, there are thousands of free templates available in internet. You just need to make a quick Google search. One such site I found really interesting was startbootstrap.com. Here you can find thousands of free templates. Let me select these filters accordingly. I just need a simple HTML page, and of course it should be free. So I'm going to select this filter, and you can see there are several templates available for free download. You can select whatever the template you like. You can see that I have used this template to create resume for the Batman. I'll leave the link for this site in my video description. Okay, now let's upload our resume files to our S3 bucket. I'm going to click Add Files, and I need to upload index and error.html files. Okay, then I have several folders to be uploaded. Let's quickly do that as well. Okay, CSS, okay, and finally I am adding the JavaScript folder. Okay, now the files are uploaded or added to the S3 bucket. Now I'm going to click upload button. Okay, the files are uploaded to our S3 bucket. Let's quickly go to our bucket. Yeah, I can see the files in my bucket. So I'm going to click the index.html file. Okay, here I have a thing called object URL. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it in my web browser. Okay, what does it say? It says access denied. So why is that? Even though we marked our public to be our S3 bucket to be public during the bucket creation, we didn't give any specific bucket policies to our bucket, which makes all the objects in our bucket to be public. So we need to do that. So I'm going to go to my bucket, and under permissions I'm gonna go to this bucket policy and I'm going to click edit. Okay, here I can define my bucket policy. It's a JSON document. There are two ways to define your policies here. Actually, this is a new feature where AWS has this integrated sidebar where you can write the bucket policy with this integrated tool. And another way would be clicking this policy generator. This is what we used to do before, but now AWS has this integrated option as well. So I'm going to do both of them. So let's do this first. I'm going to click add new statement. Okay, I'm going to give a name for my statement. Let's say public access S3. Okay, what is the service that is related with this policy? It's S3, so I'm going to select that. And then what are the actions that we're going to allow? We don't need to give all action, we just need get object. So I'm going to select that. And then we need to add a resource on which resource this policy applies on. To do that, we need to find the ARN or Amazon resource name of our bucket. So here we have that. I'm going to click this to copy to my clipboard, and I'm going to add that here. So resource type is going to be object, and I'm going to paste the ARN here. And one thing to note here is under resource attribute, I have added the ARN of my bucket, but I need to add a trailing slash and a wildcard to indicate that all the objects in this bucket applies to this policy. And then who is the principal? It's pretty much everyone, since we are talking about public access. So I am putting wildcard to here as well. Okay, that's it. So we are good to go. I'm going to click save changes. Okay, now you can see our bucket is marked as public here. So what is the other way to create the bucket policy? So let me click this edit button again. As I said before, this is how we used to do it before. So we need to click this policy generator. It will open a new tab, and then it's pretty much similar to the one we did before. You don't need to do this. I'm actually showing you the two ways on how to declare your bucket policies in S3. So I'm going to select here S3 bucket policy, and then we are going to allow the principal will be everyone. So I'm putting wildcard, and then I need to select get object from this drop down, and then for the Amazon resource name I'm going to paste it, and then that's all. I'm going to click add statement, and then I'm going to generate policy, and finally under resource I need to add this trailing slash and a wildcard. So you need to copy this and you need to paste it in this box. So we don't need to do that since we already added required policies to our bucket. So I'm going to click to my bucket, and I'm going to click index.html, and I'm going to get this object URL, and let's see. Okay, now you can see that our index.html can be accessed by anyone in the internet. So are we done here? No. Let's look at this URL. You can see that this is a specific query for the object called index.html. But what we are trying to do here in this hands-on is we are going to make a website which hosts our resume. So how we are going to do that? Let's go to our S3 bucket, and I'm going to click my bucket, and under properties we need to scroll, and at the bottom you have an option called static website hosting. So I'm going to click edit, and then I'm going to enable static website hosting. Okay, once you click this, you have two options. The first one is host a static website or redirect request for an object. In our case, we just need to host a static website, and then we need to give an index document. That will be our resume file, which is index.html. And next, there's an optional setting to set our custom error message. We have a custom error message as well, which is error.html. So there are no redirection rules required. So I'm going to click save changes. Successfully edited static website hosting. So I'm going to scroll down, and now here I have my endpoint for our resume website. I'm going to click this and let's open it from our browser. Congratulations, we have hosted our resume in a website which can be accessed through internet. Now, is this marks the end of this hands-on? No. Actually, this implementation has two drawbacks. The first one, look at this URL. You can see my bucket name, then it has this S3 website AP Southeast 1 Amazon AWS.com. So basically this is the domain of AWS. It would be great if we can host our resume in our custom domain name, isn't it? So I will be doing a hands-on on how to do that. The second drawback in this implementation is, look at this warning message here. It says not secure. So why is that? Let's go to our S3 bucket. You can see the endpoint is HTTP. You might know that browsers trusts only sites with HTTPS. So in this case, our site has been marked as not secure. Imagine your resume is uploaded and hosted in a website, and a person visits your website and their browser is showing this warning message as not secure. What kind of impression that person would get on your website? Definitely not a good one, right? So how we can handle that? So I will be doing my next hands-on addressing these two drawbacks. So thank you for watching my video. I will see you in my next video. Stay tuned.